Can you hear me? Okay. All right, this is City of Avondale Estates Board of Mayor Commissioners. This is our regular meeting. It's May 13th, 2026. It's 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have an agenda before us to have a motion to adopt.
So moved.
That was Lyda. Do I have a second?
Second.
That was Graham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, Commissioner comments. We will start down there with Commissioner Stedman.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see all these faces here at the meeting. I just wanted to mention that the DeKalb County Cold Case Task Force, supported by Avondale Estates, will be hosting a missing persons and DNA event. I think this was in the newsletter, but I thought it felt weird repeating. In partnership with local, state, and federal agency, the event is intended to help families with missing loved ones connect with investigators, update missing persons report, and learn about available resources, and voluntarily provide DNA samples that may assist in investigation of unidentified remains. So the broader community will have the opportunity to learn more about the innovative work they've been doing at DeKalb County. They are kind of way ahead of the rest of the state in this area. And there'll be DNA kits available so people can give their DNA if they have missing people in their family. So it kind of runs during the what's that thing? During the farmers market, same time about. So I'd encourage anybody that's interested to go.
I've got something. It's about all that there.
Oh,
And I'm going to be a little bit of a planning geek for just 15 seconds.
Okay.
And I'm going to read something from a book. So you'll offer me your forgiveness. We're doing comprehensive planning and downtown master planning. This is the Citizen's Guide to Planning. And I'm just going to read a quick paragraph about this and why this is important. It's natural that different people have different visions for their community. Some people advocate community growth and change for the sake of economic benefit and progress. Others want things to remain the same for the sake of preservation and community stability. Some want to actively invest in public facilities to encourage and promote change. Others want to minimize investment to preserve the environment or keep taxes low. Many just want a balanced approach to growth and change, capitalizing on positive opportunities while minimizing negative impact of growth. Whatever your outlook, almost everyone agrees that it is in our best interest to achieve some consensus about what a community aspires to be. Planners believe that the best way to achieve that consensus is through a local community planning process, beginning with a comprehensive plan. So someone here, I'm sure, is going to be telling you about this and telling you the dates of upcoming events, but it's actually a little fun to do this. It's interesting, and it's a good opportunity to think about things that maybe you don't normally think of. You might think you have an idea of how things should be, but once you sort of go through this, you might get different ideas. So thanks.
Thank you, Louis.
I wanted to thank everybody who came out to the downtown commercial business district for the art and wine walk last Saturday. Thank you to city staff and everybody involved to help put on an amazing event. It was incredibly well attended. I just could not believe all the people that were out and about. I saw Ellen schlepping the wine in the little the cart behind her, so I know there was a lot of manual labor involved, you know, because there were so many people out that they had to refill and reload stations multiple times. So I can't thank the community enough for supporting our downtown businesses, and I hope everybody had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you. Good.
I'll be brief tonight, just to piggyback on what Louis said. I hope everyone had an opportunity to come by the booth on Saturday and give their input for the downtown master plan. The committee and the team, they do it really well. That makes you really think about what you want to see in the next plan, and it's really good. And so definitely check out the latest city e-news. There's a big long list of all the opportunities to give your input. So I'd encourage everybody to give their input. And secondly, I just want to call everybody's attention to the magazine that just came in the mail this week. The whole thing is beautiful, but I especially enjoyed Chief Hess's article about the police department with pictures of all of our police department staff and what they like doing in their spare time when they're not working. I had a great time reading it, and it really made me want to see those folks out on the street and tell them that that we have stuff in common. So it was really, really good. Lots of other good articles in here too. So take a look at it if it's in your mail at home, for sure. That's it.
Thank you, Graham. Well, I would like to give a few shout outs. One to all the seniors, high school seniors who are graduating here soon, one of whom is my son, to be perfectly honest with you, our youngest. I also like to give a shout out to the Druid Hills Ultimate team and the women's soccer team who made it further this year in the state tournaments than they ever have. And I'd like to give a little special shout out to Blythe Fisher. She was MVP of the Druid Hills soccer team. She was the goalie, but she was voted MVP, which is a big deal. And that's, if you don't know, that's Brian Fisher's daughter. He was our former mayor pro tem, but I've watched Blythe since she was a little kid, Sawyer's age, and K through 12, and great athlete. So big accomplishment for her. So big shout out. Anyway, that's all I have this evening. Patrick, Mr. Manager.
I have several items to talk to y'all about. In addition to the event that Commissioner Stedman spoke about earlier, we have other things going on in the city this weekend. It's a pretty busy weekend for us. On the 16th from 10 a.m. to noon, we have our pollinator awareness event at the town green. Of course, we have partnered with Rootstown to spread awareness about our tiny but mighty pollinators. So please grab a pollinator passport to explore hands-on stations where you can create bee bats and native wildflower seed bombs. You can also connect with local partners to learn why Avondale Estates is a proud Bee City, USA. You can take the pollinator pledge and get a free native plant to take home. I've been told that there are 30 different plants.
There's 30, at least 30.
At least 30 plants.
There's probably 4.
And then at noon, Cremelosa will be offering pollinator-inspired gelatos for sale. And the Bookbird will have a pollinator story time and honey-inspired beverage for sale. So really appreciative of our local business community assisting. We also will see the return of the weekend wind down concert series Sunday, May 17th with the fabulous Run Katie Run. The event starts at 5 with music from 6 to 8. Buen Provecho, Slim Thick Vegan, and Banjo will have food and drinks available for purchase. Run Katie Run is a roots rock band for fans of acts like the Chicks, Dolly Parton, Grace Potter, and Brandy Carlisle. Fronted by Katie Coleman, Run Katie Run builds its sound around catchy melodies, driving rhythms, and emotionally honest lyrics that explore love, loss, resilience, and everyday moments. So please bring a blanket or chairs, grab your friends, and wind down the weekend with some incredible live music. And as Mayor Pro Tem Rainey discussed earlier, before you or behind you, you have our traveling road show of comprehensive development plan and downtown master plan displays. These are the same displays that we utilized this past weekend in order to solicit input from the public during the wine and art walk. Persons can feel free while the displays are here in City Hall to participate on their own. Maybe during the break between the regular meeting and the work session, or perhaps after the meetings conclude tonight, somebody will want to participate. It's there. We will also take the road show with us to the pollinator event. We'll take it the following weekend to the final production of a Shakespeare happening in the town green, and then again at the June weekend wind down show on June 7th at the town green from 5 to 7 p.m. Other locations, dates, and times for our traveling road show will be announced in forthcoming weeks. So please stay tuned if you're unable to make it to any of those events to participate. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Manager. Okay. Any closing comments up here? Okay. All right, so I'd like to open it up to public comment at this time on any of the items we are discussing this evening. Jan?
It's not on the items we're discussing this evening. I'm Jan Holwood,
Okay.
89 Berkeley.
There you are.
Just to say, I've been looking at all the candidates for all the positions and I hope everybody's looking at the AJC for the broader issues candidates and looking at the Decatur-ish for the more local ones, because they tell you a lot about each of the candidates. And this is a determinate time for who we're going to vote for when the actual election happens. So please, it may take you some time, but it's really worth it because you find out a lot of information about each of the candidates. Thanks.
Thank you. Joni?
Hey, Joni Zacola, 3360 Wiltshire. I don't know if this is part of the agenda, but we have two houses on Nottingham that are currently undergoing renovations. And one is between 900 and 880. And I did speak with the gentleman there about speeding through the stop signs at Wynn and Wiltshire. They must have been doing 20 miles an hour now. I think they've stopped, but since I spoke with them. And then the other house, 867 Nottingham, is a complete wreck. So I don't know who the public works, should I fill out a form? Tommy's been great about following up with all the forms I've been doing, but I'm not sure. It's just, it's the windows are out, there's trash all around, so it's terrible. Don't forget us on that side of that.
Oh, well, no. Yeah,
All right.
we
thank you.
don't. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Kathy?
So I just read your blurb. Does it have to be, it doesn't say in the blurb that it has to be an agenda topic.
You're right.
Okay, so I can talk about something that's not an agenda topic. Okay, that's what I thought. Kathy Kingsbury, 817 Stratford Road. My favorite topic, y'all, golf carts. So, I walked past various carts and locations throughout Avondale. I've noticed that many are not registered with the state. This past weekend, 3 out of the 4 carts on Saturday afternoon that were parked in the dedicated parking lot for golf carts did not have registration stickers. Louis, I think your partner was the one that had it. This was discussed over and over last year, how to get these people registered, and this rolls into a bigger problem. We are seeing a lot more golf carts out there. We're seeing a lot of those carts do around Avondale. Some are parking in the designated golf parking, some on the city streets, but many are still using Verges as a parking lot. I've got pictures. I walk every day just about. I can guarantee you that there's one parked in front of your Gilly hedge. One day out of every 4, at least. It may be more. I took several pictures of this weekend of them parking Verge. Granted, we've got an event downtown, but it's even when we're not having events, they're parking there. So, is parking on the Verge illegal in other areas of the city, which according to the code it is? Why is it not being enforced at this location? Do we need to amend our code to include that location? Do we want them to park there? I don't know. Chief Hess told us last year that he cannot ticket these vehicles because they're not registered and he can't follow up on the citations. So you give a citation on a car, on a vehicle that's parked on the Verge, you don't have any way to track it. You don't know who the vehicle is to that vehicle, because you can't look up the registration. When you get a ticket, because you're parked illegally, they look up your license plate number and they tell you JoJo Smith owns this car. She lives at blah, blah, blah. So I'm just trying to get our handle on this before it gets too bad, especially with the pool opening and all the issues with golf carts that we had at the pool last year. And then my last and probably the most important thing about golf carts is the underage driving. It's already started, folks. It's very scary. They're not stopping at stop signs. They're zigzagging, there's kids hanging off of them. Some of them are great, but a 13-year-old does not need to be riding. And I noticed there's sort of a movement in Decatur, not so much about golf carts, they don't have golf carts, but it's about the electric bicycles. And I think my time is almost up, but how they're getting stronger and stronger, and some are almost classified as motorcycles because their engines are getting so good. But those are things I want to bring to your attention and our community's attention.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any online? Any other public comment? Okay. Seeing none, I'd like to bring it back up here. Anything else here? Okay. All right, so the next two items are presentation of proclamations about public works and our police. I would just like to, this is National Police Week on May 15th, beginning May 5th, well, it's May 11th to May 16th. I would just like to say, and I've said this before to our police, to all police, you know, while you're having a barbecue, while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're at work, while you're doing whatever you're doing, they're watching over you all the time, 24/7. And so I would just like to say thank you for everything you do. That's just from me. If anybody up here would like to say anything to our police officers.
I appreciate what you do too. I really do. So thank you very much.
When I can't sleep at night, sometimes I see the police car driving through the neighborhood with this bright, bright lights, and it's great. Makes me feel safe. So thank you.
Well, I think it's great to mention that like our police force is so present and around. I mean, I have young kids and I feel comfortable with them being out and about, you know, because just the commendable job Chief Hess and his staff does here. They're always around. I don't think police officers get enough credit, and I think we really gotta look within ourselves and realize what all goes into being a police officer, and it's truly what really, you know, keeps our lives going, because if we don't have safety, we don't really have anything. So I mean, we owe that to our police officers. So thank you.
I've got one quick comment, which is going to come out wrong. With every interaction I've had with our police officers, they've always been professional, polite, and very respectful. Not that I've had that many, but I've had.
Yes. Yes, so thank you. We also have a proclamation here for our public works folks, and likewise, I would just like to say, I think one of the things that separates Avondale Estates is our public works, keeping our city beautiful, you know, all the things they do. I'd just like to say thank you, Marcel and your crew. You do a great job, and I think we all take a lot of pride in our city, and it's because of a lot of what you do. And so thank you so much. And likewise, this is Public Works Week, May 17th through 23rd. And this is the 66th time we've done this. So I do have these two proclamations. If there's anything you'd like to add about Public Works, I do want to ask everybody to come down front for a photo. So,
Thank you, Marcel, and to all your folks.
Is this working?
Yes.
yeah, you just have to get, you might want to turn on the whatever. You gotta take the volume off. We can't have that. That stays. Nope. Nope. Fine school, not fiction. Go Georgia. Police function.
No, we'll do it all again.
Yes, kidding.
Yeah, no, we can't.
He's a better job.
He needs to stay in the good graces.
I'm sorry. All right. Tall guy in the middle.
Oh,
Public Works. It's you.
Do this thing. Like at a wedding.
Everybody? Chief.
That's nice to search.
Okay, someone's noticed.
Smiles didn't look too painful.
Thank you for your patience on it. Okay. All right, next item, number 7. We have before us the meeting minutes of the April 15th, 2026 regular meeting, the April 15th, 2026 work session, April 22nd, 2026 regular meeting, and April 22nd, 2026 work session. Do I have a motion to engross the minutes?
So moved.
Graham, do I have a second? That's Lyda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, next up, Mr. Manager, would you tee this up for us?
Yes, sir, I'd be honored. Joining us today are two representatives of Dewberry, the firm who acts as our stormwater engineer consultant. Dewberry and our relationship began several years ago when they were awarded the contract through a competitive process to build the city's hydraulic model, which helps us determine how water moves throughout the city and what we need to do to make it move the way we want it to move. And since then have been providing us not only with on-call stormwater engineering services, but also were the firm who designed the Dunwich Drive stormwater solution for us that we recently completed. As y'all are aware, Dewberry has also been with us through what we are calling the Southwoods stormwater and lake dam rehabilitation project. They were the firm who performed the initial dam inspection, and then of course the firm who shepherded the more recent geotechnical work that was performed on the dam, which produced the report and recommendations that we discussed at our last work session. And I believe at that last work session, I let y'all know that Dewberry would be on hand tonight to report on those findings. And as we move that discussion forward, be here to answer questions you might have related to the proposal for the design solutions to the Southwoods stormwater infrastructure and dam rehabilitation project. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce y'all to Megan and Sam, and they will go ahead and move forward with the presentation. Megan?
Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that. We meant to move that back. Thank you for doing that. Sorry.
Karina, will you cue that up for us?
Yep.
Okay, good evening.
Hi.
My name is Megan Hannafin. I'm a senior project manager with Dewberry Engineers. I have Sam Fleming here with me as well.
Megan, can you speak into the mic?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay, should I start over?
It's
You're
really
good.
just for the folks on Zoom, I think must be. Yeah.
Great, okay. So I was saying I also have Sam Fleming here with us today from Dewberry. He's our Georgia Safe Dams engineer of record in our Atlanta office. So we're here today to talk about the Lake Avondale Dam Rehabilitation Project. See if I can get this to work. No. No. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Dewberry conducted a dam inspection as well as supported the geotechnical investigation that identified several issues with the Lake Avondale Dam. Those include large trees and vegetation on the embankment slope, significant scour erosion near the pipe outfall, some steep slopes in some locations that are susceptible to erosion and embankment instability, erosion below the stairs on the upstream slope, and then deterioration of the storm pipes under Wiltshire Drive. I also have a note here that when it comes to dam safety and the safety of the embankment itself, Lake dredging is not a critical factor to support the dam safety for Lake Avondale. Okay, so these are some of the photos to just highlight some of the issues we've identified. The photo on the left, it's hard to tell, but where those rocks end, kind of in the middle of the photo, is where the pipe outlets and outfalls. Below that, where the pipe outfalls, there's about a 13-foot, 10 to 13 feet of scour and erosion ongoing. And so the concern there is that it's going to continue to scour and erode and compromise the safety of Wilshire Drive. The top middle photo is an example of some of the slope failure on the downstream slope, as well as the vegetation and large trees on the slope as well. Top right, you can see underneath the slab of the stairs, there's a void and some erosion going on there on the upstream side. And then the two bottom photos are from CCTV footage that was collected for the storm drain pipes under Wiltshire. The left photo, you can see some deterioration in the corrugated metal pipe. The right photo, you can see some joint separation in the concrete pipe. So those are some of the issues that we are proposing to repair as part of this project. So we've come up with a two-phase rehabilitation plan. Phase 1 addresses the most urgent stormwater deficiencies, the most critical ones to protect Wiltshire Drive. That includes repair of the scour hole erosion at the pipe outfall, regrading and removing the vegetation within the vicinity of that scour hole, armoring the downstream channel with riprap, and then repairing the storm drain pipes. Phase 2 would address the remaining deficiencies to stabilize the embankment long-term. So that includes regrading and removing the vegetation on the rest of the dam that wasn't included in the Phase 1 repairs, designing a seepage collection system, and repairing the erosion underneath the stairs on the upstream slope. So looking at schedule and construction costs, we estimate 6 months for the Phase 1 permit-ready design submittal. Estimated 6 months for construction duration. Phase 2 would be 5 months for permit-ready design and 5 months for construction. That is assuming that they are done consecutively and not concurrently. If they are done at the same time, there would be savings on the design schedule as well as the construction schedule. And then as part of our preliminary deliverables to the city, we would include construction cost estimates as well. And that's it.
All right. Will the construction necessitate closing Wiltshire across the dam?
It should not. We're not doing any pipe replacement. It would be trenchless rehabilitation of the pipes under Wiltshire. There might need to be lane closures for the equipment.
Okay.
But
it wouldn't be like closing that.
I don't anticipate that. We could definitely, as we get into the design, potentially see that we might need it, but that would be included as part of what we would.
My only other question, and I might be the only person that doesn't know this, but could you tell me what scour means exactly?
Sure, yeah, that's a good question. So the water that's coming out of the pipe is dropping basically vertical. So it has a high velocity as it's going down.
Yes.
As it hits the soil, it's just basically unprotected.
Okay.
There's nothing to stop the erosive velocities of the water
So
from like.
as it comes down hard, it's branching out and causing more erosion and more.
Yep, exactly. The eddies and the velocities, churn up that soil.
Okay.
And the soil then moves downstream with the water, and then you're left with a hole.
Okay.
That's left behind.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I was just kind of reading through this. So y'all are not going to be doing the oversight management of the construction, or you can do the oversight management, but it's not included currently.
That's correct. Yes, it's not included in the proposal right now, but it's definitely something that we could provide if the city would like us to. Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, the permit efforts and fees routed through the county. Is this going to be something that we're going to get an estimate on from somebody? That might be a city question. It's not included in the,
Yeah, guys, when we're talking about the design proposal,
Yeah.
I think we need to wait until the work session. That's not, this was just a presentation of the findings.
okay.
All right. I have no questions.
I've got some questions.
Okay, yeah.
So first, your colleague, I wasn't able to write down your colleague's name.
Sam Fleming,
Sam.
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 Mhm.
Sam, may I ask you a question? So you're,
Yeah, it was coming up.
Megan introduced you as the safe dams or something engineer record. Could you just say a little bit about?
Yeah, so
Your role
with the
here.
Georgia Safe Dams program, I'm recognized as an engineer of record, so able to work on dams in the state of Georgia. We have 2 in our office and I'm one of them.
Okay, gotcha. And in this WSP, the geotechnical report, can you just explain some of the simple basics about our dam? You know, the spillway. Is this appropriate type questioning, right? Okay. You know, the spillway, you know, I gleaned some of it. I Googled a little bit of it, like the seepage and the seepage, the reason for why you need a seepage. What is it called, at the other collection system? Can you just give us just the basics of what do we have?
So you, you basically have if you're standing in Wiltshire looking at the lake over to the left, that's where your control structure is. That's where that's primarily where the water passes through. So it goes through a pipe system under Wiltshire. And then when you're looking downstream, that's where it comes out on, if you're looking then turn around, start looking away from the lake, it comes out on that right side, and that's where we have the major scour hole. So that's a big concern that we have there. The other thing that we anticipate that we'll have is you've got a lot of trees on the dam. And so trees like water, and dams, like you get flow of water through a dam. So you have a lake sitting there with water against it on the lakeside, that water is going to seep through. Well, right now you have trees that are sitting there taking that water up. So as soon as and trees on dams they're off limits. Yeah, that's really a no-go. So once you start to remove those trees, then all of a sudden we anticipate that we're going to start seeing that seepage coming up. So what you want to do is you want to put in essentially a French drain system on the downstream side of the dam, so that it collects it and it collects it safely. And so it collects it as clean water, and you don't get soil moving through it. And then you start getting real big instabilities, which could cause safety issues. So that's the need for the collection system, is because of those trees. Once they're gone, that water is not getting drunk by anything. It's going to want to come out.
So
Where's the French drain gonna be?
We would have to design that. We would like preliminarily, we kind of think that if you're like about halfway down the slope, maybe a third to halfway down the slope, we may have a need for one, but then definitely as you get down on the other side. So if you're standing, sorry, I apologize. If you're standing on Wiltshire, looking away from the lake, looking down downstream, so it'll probably be about halfway down the hillside, the dam, and then probably another one toward the bottom, something like that. We'll have to design it, but in general, that's where we anticipate.
So even just going back one step, the dam fills up, it rains. The structure, what did you call it?
It's a control structure.
Okay.
It's where it controls
the
the flow going through the dam. Yes.
And it comes out on the corner of Whitby, right.
If your back is
Wiltshire.
to the lake, it comes out on the right, and that's where we have that
On
scour.
the left, the same spot on the left. What is that? Is that storm?
That's local storm.
Got it.
Those local storm drains.
Okay. In the report, it talks about, you know, and in your photos, with different pipes, corrugated and concrete. And you mentioned trenchless. So does that mean like lining the inside of those pipes to give them another certain amount of life?
Yeah, it would be similar to that. It might not be lining. We might do a different type of friendship rehabilitation because of where the sewer line runs through one of them.
Okay, that's what that.
Yeah, the sewer. So probably the concentrically cast concrete and so it would be, repaired that way. And then the joints in the concrete pipe would be, sort of like built and crafted.
So then the scour, the erosion in the corner, and what I read in the report in like simple terms. Because that part of it has eroded, it's steep, it's too steep, it needs to be less steep. There's different ways to deal with that. And then and the other parts are sort of, you know, within range, let's say, they're within reasonable steepness. Is that
The, on the, opposite the lakeside, on the downstream side, on the downstream side, there are areas of that slope that are too steep and they're not stable. So that entire embankment really needs to be reworked to make it, not only to remove the trees, but be reworked to regrade it, to make it more mild so that it's more stable.
I think sort of my sort of like constantly trying to translate this into, you know, layman's terms or simpler terms, or what the way I read it is, and you can correct me, it's been there a long time, it's doing its thing, it's in good shape for what it is. It was built 100 years ago with the methods available at that time. We need to do things to prevent pipes, roots, vegetation, seepage from causing issues. In the meanwhile, it's appropriate to do inspections every now and then, 6 months, a year, whatever, or after a huge event. As these plans are being made, or if we were to not do anything, we'd need to keep on top of it, assuming we're going to do something. That'll kind of give us another 100 years, let's say.
So, yeah, so I would say, as far as like the condition of the dam, that right side where the scour and the erosion is, that has a high probability of continuing to worsen. And it's not, I think that's why we put that as phase one. So that definitely does need to be addressed. Yes, if you go through and address the phase one, go through and remedy that, the scour, get that stabilized, then looking more for the long-term stability of the dam, just increasing the longevity. Yes, getting rid of the trees, regrading it, getting it to more of what you would be bringing it to a better, safer standard for the slopes, so it's milder, have the seepage collection, and that way it'll make it much more sustainable as a long-term structure.
And the very last question, when you talk about the Safe Dams program, can you just say a little bit about that? In other words, I think ours does not comply because it was built prior.
So your dam is, so I'm sorry to interrupt. The dam is currently not in the inventory.
Right.
So this is not regulated, not in the inventory, so it's not on the inventory to be regulated by Safe Dams. We just, when we're working on dams like of this nature, we still go back and we look at for these items, you know, we follow the guidelines for the Georgia Safe Dams program. That's what we're looking at, for just trying to provide that stability.
So if it says it is currently not regulated under the Georgia State Dams program in the geotechnical report, what does that mean?
In order for it to be a dam in the state of Georgia, it has to meet certain criteria for height and volume of water behind it. And so the state has, in their program, they have to have identified it. And so they have not identified it.
So the fact that it is not currently regulated does not mean it is an unsafe dam. It means it is not in the program because it doesn't meet the criteria to be in the program.
They have not identified it as.
Okay, thank you.
Have they looked, I mean, has it been in their scope? I mean, is it just kind of outside what they've looked at? Is that?
I do not know.
Okay.
I can't answer that.
What's it look like once you guys remove the vegetation? Is it just gonna be, so no trees, just kind of grass, or? Yeah.
I have no questions. Everybody get up here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
What's next?
Adjournment.
Oh. Besides that, so we'll have in the work session, we'll tee that up as well. Okay. All right, so that is it for our regular meeting. Any closing comments up here? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Lighted, do I have a second?
Second.
Mike, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Our new thing is we have a 10-minute break. We're gonna move down there. Are we ready to?
Yeah.
Do we have it mic'd up down there? Oh, okay. All right. So what time is it? 6:11. We'll be back at 6:20. Next to that. All present with county. Okay. Good, their mics in the ceiling, so I'm assuming they're people. So, all right, it's the City of Avondale Estates Board of Mayor Commissioners. This is our work session. It's May 13th, 2026. It's now 6:23. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have an agenda items to have a motion to adopt. Dave, Lida, do I have a second? Second. Mike, all in favor? Aye. All right. Off we go. Mr. Manager?
Yes, so in your packet, you have a proposal from Dewberry, whom you just heard from, to perform the design work for both phase 1 and phase 2 of this project. If y'all recall, the two phases were explained in the presentation. The reason for the phasing is kind of multifold here, so bear with me. I think as Sam was speaking earlier, the phase 1 work is the more critical work. So we're approaching this to hopefully be able to perform this work currently. However, if the cost of these projects do not allow us to move forward to performing that work concurrently, then we can decide to move forward with the phase 1 and schedule the phase 2 for a later date. We hope, and as Megan spoke to, that by doing these, designing these at the same time and determining what the cost of construction is expected to be, we'll have a pretty good idea soon whether or not we can tackle them both together or we'll need to go one at a time. So you've got the kind of the phase design costs broken out for you. But and that's really for the purposes of the design in case we have to split it up, right? If we don't, as they already mentioned, it is possible that the total cost of this proposal will come down. So right now, the total cost is about $190,000. You will notice on page 6 that there is a breakdown of the fees associated with the proposal. And the fact that we have already performed that geotechnical work provides a credit of $35,187.25 to this proposal. Hopefully we continue to bring that down. And this money is already budgeted and available for in our capital program. you know, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask, but the timeline, they already outlined during their presentation. All of the deliverables are, discussed within the bounds of this proposal. Any questions related to cost of construction are unknown at this time. And so we'll get those numbers once we get to the 30% phase.
So that will be part of this one, getting cost estimates.
Yes, correct.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, correct. That
as
is
the best of their knowledge.
right. And then, of course, we bid it and they could come in higher or lower depending on economic climate at the time. But yes, that is the general procedure is this, we've got the concepts. Now we need to design for those concepts. Once we get far enough into the design process, we'll be able to generate some cost estimates and plan for how we tackle the construction of these solutions in the near future.
Well, I would like to say that, I think we should go ahead and do both. I know that we borrowed 3.7 million a couple of years ago for stormwater. I can't think of a more deserving one than this project, so I believe there's plenty of money in this loss to cover the 190.
In fact, it's already budgeted.
Okay,
Yeah, this project is already budgeted in its entirety using SPLOST 2 funds.
okay.
Are we having questions on this part? Or anything else?
There was somewhere in the report about, you know, the grasses, you know, they're planting it with grass, keeping it a certain height. Can there be a landscape plan associated with this or a separate project later to just make it whatever, meet the criteria to keep it safe, but make it look nice?
Yeah, I'll let Dewberry answer how they would like to handle that.
So typically on dams, it is just regular grass, not sort of designed landscape, just because the vegetation should be kept to a minimum. And all of that sort of thing. So within the embankment itself, we would recommend that it is just grass. But beyond the limits of the embankment, I'm sure there's potential things that should be known.
They can pick the variety of grass. I'm not being serious, like, you know, just like some of the other, is there a landscape architect who can work with the criteria and still make it seem less like, or can there be, I mean, surely this has come up before.
What do you mean about type of grass?
Well, in other words, like we know that the landscape architects have lots of different, I don't think it's meant to be like golf cart for golf course grass. What do they do?
Yeah, I mean, we could certainly choose a type of grass that would be preferred, that meets the, you know, standards of practice for dams. One example I'm thinking of regarding landscape on dams, there's a different dam that we know that planted daffodils on the embankment that they had to take out because rats, yeah.
And I think it'll be important to identify what criteria there is so that we later don't do something that we get scolded for.
There's an embankment, but then there's a whole nother, there's a whole area right now where we're taking out, not just the embankment, but there's no flexibility on the rest of it. I mean, are you defining the embankment all the way to the stream?
It's just. Yeah, so if you do look at the map of all the contours and everything, the dam does extend all the way down to the bottom. So typically your embankment is going to be grass. We can look at, the big thing is basically no woody vegetation. That is the big thing. So we could look at some different kind of grasses. Something we can look at something a little bit different on a final planting vegetation plan. But typically you'll sod it or you'll grass seed it. Yes, the embankment, because we started looking at it, that does extend all the way down. It gets skinny, of course, you know, kind of down there, but it extends all the way down.
All right, so we will prepare ourselves for a grass tasting. And make our selections. Yes. Do y'all have any other questions?
I do not. Yeah, we just need to get drawings and give more information.
Thank y'all so much
Yes,
for
thank you
being
for
here
being
tonight.
here, taking the time and wait through all the other stuff we have to do, but thank you for being here. We're all good.
And we believe, I'll put her on the spot, but word on the street was this was Megan's first appearance before a municipal council. I don't know, someone already told me, but you did a great job. Yeah, rest easy. Yes.
You can stay for the rest of it if you want, but that's, you don't have to.
You got right there.
All right, thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Okay. So we'll vote on this proposal next meeting?
Correct.
Okay. All right, everybody good with that?
Yes.
All right, so item number 4, this is all you.
Okay. And Steven.
Okay.
So every 3 years, and we've done this twice since I've been here, so this would be the 3rd occasion. The county has requested from its member cities to decline their eligibility in the Department of Housing and Urban Development's CDBG entitlement block grant program, which is made easy for us because we do not have a population that qualifies for participation in the CDBG program. So essentially, denying our claim or right or privilege to attempt to acquire grant monies through a program that we're not even qualified for, we allow for DeKalb County to essentially act as the entity that will receive and distribute CDBG related funding throughout the county. However, I do want to also say that we do not have any projects planned, nor do we intend to plan any projects that would otherwise be eligible for that funding. And so as we have done in the past, I just want to let y'all know that I do not anticipate that we even engage DeKalb into in any funding for project within the city's limits. Okay.
Are these projects for, low income housing? Okay, and, does DeKalb by virtue of us giving up ours get more because of it, or?
Well, we wouldn't qualify anyway. It's
I
really,
understand.
so it's really just for like a.
We'll fall under their umbrella, so.
I mean,
I
I
guess-
understand that, but it's helpful to DeKalb by us doing that because we don't need it.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, you were right.
Okay. never mind.
Yeah.
And they've explicitly made no promise that any of the projects will be in Avondale Estate. It might be, but we don't expect that.
Well, we have to say
agree
about
to
that.
it, yeah.
We don't really have a say.
Oh, really?
I mean, according to the offer they made us,
Right.
it was, we're just handing the baton to them, they run with it. They come back with something for us or not, at their discretion.
But there's no property for them to have any projects funded through that in the city. So
I guess we could think of it as potentially benefiting our neighbors.
So we will come to no.
correct.
I got no
And
problem.
you've done it twice.
Yeah, I got. Okay. All right, where was I? Okay, any questions about this one? So this would be something that we would vote on next time, or I would just sign it, or what? We need to vote on it?
Well, so we've acted through various research with the city clerk today, we've done it both ways. So we've had a resolution giving you the right to sign and withdraw our eligibility. And you also just signed it.
Okay.
When
mean,
did you sign it?
I have no recollection of this.
And you, I'm not just saying you, I mean mayors plural.
We don't need to do a resolution.
I think we should.
Okay. good.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna bring it back to the board for a resolution
That's
next time and then, pending the result.
Sure. All right, so just always like, so this is something that will appear in a resolution next time for a vote. Everybody good? Good. All right. All good?
That's it.
Nothing else?
That's it.
Public comment on things we discussed tonight. I said that last time, but I was wrong. Okay, yes, Bill Hobart.
Bill Hover, 89 Berkeley Road, and my comment is about what you've discussed here at the work session meeting and not in general. Just to be clear that I'm following the rules. So first off, it's good to hear the planning is going on for, I guess, stabilizing and doing necessary rehabilitation work for the dam. I did notice in reading the proposal that it appeared as though the Wiltshire Lakeshore Stormwater Project is now on some sort of hiatus or is not being considered at this point. Because I thought there was I thought that the language used in the proposal said that's where the $35,000 was coming from. At least that was my reading. That brought that number down to about 100. But at any rate, regardless, because it's in the same area, I would hope that you would have some consideration of maybe making a phase 3 and trying to get that done at about the same time. So that it would not so that the interruption to whatever would be happening in that area would all happen at basically the same time. And then the other comment I had regarding the plantings, in my reading of the proposal, they had said that the trees on the upstream side of the dam, basically the lake side of the dam, were not causing issues. And so as part of that discussion is to see if perhaps there is a way that, near the curb before the slope begins, that there would be a possibility of having some small size trees there. Just because right now Southwoods basically comes that way, and I think it's going to be a pretty drastic change to the appearance, and it might be better appreciated by the residents if something like that could be done. But if it comes out that technically it's something that really should not be done, which I understand, that be very clearly explained and all the reasons why, and maybe even look to removing those woody plants that's on the lakeside as well. Thank you.
Good. Yes, thank you. Kathy?
Happy Kingsbury, 817 Stratford. To follow up what Bill said and something y'all talked about your strategic planning, I think that if we're going to do as drastic reshaping of that space, taking down all the greenery, all the trees, we need to start letting y'all's constituents know so that it's not a surprise the day the bulldozer comes and takes on. Tell them that this has got to happen because of X, Y, and Z. Educate them and do it over and over and over, because the last thing you want is, I would think, is to have the bulldozer come in one day and that's all gone and people suddenly realize that it ain't coming back, that it's always going to be green, and how open it's going to be to those property owners going down towards Berkeley. I mean, you're gonna be able to see all the way through, aren't you, Shannon? There's not gonna be any protection. It's going down that path and back towards that.
It's just on the back slope of the dam. It's just-
And that green, and that path, and that's what
No,
Shannon
it's
just
You have
said.
to remove the vegetation on the back slope. If the back slope meets the natural grade, you can leave that stuff. It's
Well,
just on the
Shannon
back
just
side of the
asked
dam.
that and he said, no, that needed to go too. That needed to be grass. Is what I understood them to say.
Well,
We could
we'll
follow up
clarify,
on
but I
it,
just
yeah.
understand that.
I think, let's see what the design looks like.
Yeah,
and see where-
yeah, I just think educate our community. Cause that's a drastic change like Bill meant.
Well, I mean, we didn't know, but it never should happen. I mean,
Well, I know, but it's been there for 35 years, if not longer.
well, longer, I think, but.
Yeah. I've been here 35 years. It's always been overgrown.
Yeah. All right. You know what?
None.
One more up there. Okay, bring it back up here again.
Yeah, actually, I had forgotten to ask what Bill, mentioned about the Wilshire Lake, the Wilshire and Lakeshore combination thing. Why did we pull that?
We haven't pulled it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, because it's taken off, in that thing. Where does it say now?
35,000.
Yeah,
No, that project is still in the pipeline.
it is.
Yeah.
Is that the event spot there?
All right. I'll get up here. Well, I think that concludes everything. The motion to adjourn. Why did I second? Second. No one wants to leave? Oh, there we go. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
It is cold.
All right, thanks everybody for being here.
Where's your papers on here too?